and welcome to Amphlett Reviews, and today we're doing something a little different. We're going to be talking about, in a fun, casual, just a kind of chill way, the Spaghetti Western Trilogy and a little bit of my opinion on the Western genre. Now this is something that I've been really wanting to kind of just explore a little bit on the channel. You know, this channel is mainly kind of Hong Kong content and, you know, exploring kind of first time reactions and, you know, going into a little bit of Japanese cinema and, you know, just kind of explore my horizons a little bit in terms of kind of my film taste and just kind of seeing what else is out there. And, you know, there's some hits, there's some misses. The Western genre is something that I don't really talk about much outside of the channel and outside of, you know, just in general kind of thing. And I have a very small collection of Western movies, and I'll kind of briefly show you in a bit of a cutscene here, and I might talk about a few more, maybe in a couple more videos down the line. But I want to talk about initially the golden package, the godfathers of Western kind of based movies. You know, you've got the Good, the Bad, the Ugly, the third and final chapter. You've got A Fistful of Dollars and A Few Dollars More. 3 iconic movies within the Western genre that kind of redefine not only the director Leone's career, but also Clint Eastwood, and kind of put them as a staple name. And these are kind of blueprint defined movies that appears in everything. It appears in every kind of, you know, Hong Kong-based movie with Exiled recently, Johnny To film. Western movies in general as a genre has never really clicked with me as much. I'm very particular with them. Very similar to kind of war movies. And I was thinking to myself, I really want to give these another go. I really want to explore the genres a little bit more and to kind of push myself just a little bit and to kind of see if I can find some hidden gems. Like maybe it's something to do with the stars. You know, I'm not the biggest kind of Clint Eastwood fan, so he's never been a big draw to me. I can understand why now more so we're watching the trilogy and kind of a modern kind of 2022 impression and kind of, you know, exploring these films from kind of an outside point of view. I'm not really a big John Wayne fan. I think he's really overrated, but that's a very controversial talking point. You know, I used to watch a lot of these films with my granddads, and, you know, they were big war movie guys. They were big, you know, Western movie guys. And I saw a lot of different types of ones, you know, and I thought, you know, with war movies, for me, they're too real. They're a little too real. They are more scary than any kind of horror films I'm going to see. And a lot of the times they are just super bleak. And despite I have a lot of bleak movies in my collection, granted, you know, there's got to be something about them that kind of sticks. And it's very similar with Western movies. There's got to be something about the story, there's got to be something about the characters, there's got to be something about the scenario and the way it's shot, the way it's delivered, the way the action is presented, that can really make you go, wow, that was a fucking experience. Wow, that was something that I'm going to want to talk about, you know, and we explore. And I guess you can say the same thing about a lot of Jackie Chan films and Hong Kong movies, you know, with, you know, being very rinse and repeat, very similar with the different types of genres, with the, you know, Shaw Brothers especially, you know, very similar ideas, very kind of knock off each other's, you know, the master and the evil villains. But there's always something fun about this, and I can identify those with being a really fun villain, some great lines, some great action, great stunts. You know these people are actually just giving in their all, and you might get a fucking great movie. You might get a really good fun comedy. You might get a fun like revenge movie or a blood-soaked kind of kick-assery movie. And there's different styles, different kind of weaponry, different types of fight skills. There's so many things I can identify and so many things that I can get out of a Hong Kong movie or Japanese movie than I can with a Western movie. And I think because it's so limiting, at least from my point of view right this current moment anyway, with the style of the action, the way the kind of the characters are presented, and the town, the location and the story, it's very kind of one note. And the ones that I do have in my collection are quite a little different. And this has recently led me to watching the Spaghetti Western Trilogy and kind of going at it at a fresh kind of modern 2022 approach and thinking, you know what, I'm a little bit bored of modern cinema. I've been bored of modern cinema for a while now, and I just kind of want to find something cool. I want to find something magical and just kind of get that kind of kick-assery and kind of movie making experience again. And all 3 of these films, I'm very happy to say, are absolutely fantastic, and you have no idea how happy I am for films to live up to the hype. No idea how happy I am to see excellent filmmaking, fantastic music, great characters, interesting kind of story reveals and twists and turns, brilliant action, and an evolution of each movie. Each film gets better, not only within its kind of story and characters, but just its kind of stylistic choices within its kind of epic scale. And the fact that the iconic, the big one is The Good, the Bad, the Ugly, I can see why. This is a nearly 3-hour film, and it is fantastic. It is a fantastic way to end the trilogy. It comes full circle in terms of the character of Clint Eastwood's character, and just again the subverting expectations and just kind of seeing how these characters interact with each other. And I get it, it clicked, it just clicked. Just to give you a rough opinion of what I thought of these films, starting with A Fistful of Dollars. Fantastic introduction to the kind of little trilogy. Just a great film, just a really, really good film. The first half of the film I think is brilliant. You know, Clint Eastwood character goes to town, and he's basically just messing with the two rival gangs. He's just kind of screwing with them. He's very intelligent, he's very quick on the draw. You know, he's got a great sense of humour in terms of his wit, and he's just kind of mocking a little bit of both sides. You know, I love there's a fantastic scene where he's basically giving information to both sides, getting $500, gets $1,000, it's a lot of money, and he eventually does give that money to someone in need later on towards the third act, which I think is just a really noble, really nice kind of gesture. That he didn't have to do that. And then the second half of that film gets really violent, it gets really nasty, it's very eric-y, and the film just kind of switches from, like, you know, a kind of intelligent slow burn in a sense, kind of, you know, fun, quicker the draw kind of humor, to a bloodshed film very quickly. And you got some great villains. Fistful of Dollars is just a great film, great introduction. And then going on to the second film, we have A Fistful of Dollars, which is a very unique sequel, which is basically a little bit more head into the future. You've kind of got steam trains now, you've got a very different kind of society kind of base, you know, the Western kind of approach. You know, the guy in, you know, horseback, that kind of thing is kind of dying out, and characters are becoming more kind of guns for hire, more mercenaries, you know, more bounty hunters. And that's what his character is. He becomes a bounty hunter, and he teams up with another famous bounty hunter, which basically wants to take out this kind of gang, which is worth a lot of money. They're worth like about between 1,000 to 10,000 to 12,000 a head. And they are playing a big kind of, you know, bank high score, and it takes up a lot of the film to get to that point, and it really kind of builds and builds, and they have to kind of infiltrate the gang, and it's just absolutely fantastic. And that one has a lot of really good twists and turns. It has some really great reveals, some fantastic, phenomenal action, great ego kind of sequences with the two rival kind of bounty hunters kind of going toe to toe, and, you know, he's shooting his kind of hat, and they're both showing off their skill sets. Fantastic. It's just really funny. It's really kind of like fuck yeah kind of attitude. And again, you've got some pretty surprising kind of sequences. The end sequence I think is absolutely brilliant in terms of not only the showdown, but only kind of the motivations that some of the characters have. And the last kind of two lines from Clint Eastwood in that end portion is just phenomenal. It's absolutely like, yes, fucking sold the film. Like, you know, you just kind of hit the nail on the head. Last kind of, you know, line of the film, perfect. It works really well, and it's just a really fun movie around. But also elevating the action, elevating cinematography, doing more riskier stuff. And again, it's very practical, it's very hands-on nature. But he also went the next level with The Good and Bad, the Ugly, the film that lives up to his reputation, that lives up to the hype and the epic nature of a 3-hour epic. You know, all three characters, the good, the bad, the ugly, all going after some money that has been buried at a kind of a grave site in the middle of a civil war. You've got three very greedy characters going on a treasure hunt in the middle of the worst kind of, you know, time within kind of, you know, man kind of fighting each other, and you've kind of got the very dark, cynical nature of just characters kind of screwing each other over, messing with each other, and you've got just three people going after some gold, and it's just so simplistically wonderful. You've got some great kind of character moments and renovations, and the fact that all three characters kind of know each other a little bit, and they've kind of got their own personal kind of agendas, and you've got some great back and forth. It's an absolute blast from start to finish, and it kind of really kind of puts the film on the map. And that's my thoughts and opinions on the Spaghetti Western trilogy. I hope you enjoyed watching this video, guys, and a little bit my thoughts on the Western genre. What are your thoughts on the films themselves? What are your thoughts on the genre? What are your recommendations, guys? Please comment down below. Give me some recommendations for some really kick-ass Western movies that you think I might enjoy. And if you want to see more of these types of videos in terms of my war collection, in terms of dramas, in terms of kind of, you know, comedies, I'm more than happy to kind of deep dive into a little bit more genre-based kind of videos. So in the meantime, after reviews, signing out.